and go.
Hey everyone, I'm Tommy with Outrider, and this is the Outrider Coyote. The Outrider Coyote is a compact electric ATV that fits in the back of your SUV or van or small station wagon or whatever you got. The goal with the Coyote was to build the most compact and the most capable off-road vehicle so that you could take serious off-road mobility with you wherever you want to go without having to haul a big heavy trailer or have a full-size pickup. This particular machine here is the Coyote two-wheel drive with the solid axle in the rear. It's a live axle. We also have a Coyote two-wheel drive with independent trailing arms, two-wheel drive, and a four-wheel drive. This is a solid axle. It's more sport-oriented, a lot like a sport ATV versus a utility ATV. This is kind of our sport ATV of our Outrider four-wheeled vehicle line, which is the Coyote. So the Coyote, there's a lot to know about it, but the one goal in mind is pack as much off-road capability as possible in the smallest package possible. So this particular machine, the live axle, solid axle rear version, has an American-made motor with our German-made gearbox. This unit here puts out about 3,000 watts continuous and has a top speed of 28 miles per hour with these bigger 26-inch rear wheels. The front wheels on these, all of these machines are 20 inches in the front. And the reason for that is that maximizes your steering capability and minimizes that turning radius. But these rear 26-inch wheels allow you to get a little bit more top speed. But they also smooth out the bumps a little bit more. They give you some more downhill mountain bike tire options. And this particular tire is a tubeless tire. So what's great about that is you can run really low air pressures in these and get great grip on rough, rocky stuff, or more flotation if you're riding on sand and that kind of thing. On this live axle, this rear axle is a carbon fiber rear axle. It's incredibly strong, incredibly light. We chose this because it's more resilient than steel. It gives a better ride, and it's extremely durable. The track width on the front of this is a bit wider. It's 33 inches outside to outside on this tire. So this bike can fit through a normal exterior door on your house or going into business. So it's important because then this machine can be rolled in through a normal door. On the rear, however, this machine, this particular build, has the narrow track rear option. And that gives you a couple benefits. One of the benefits is that if you're riding tight single track trails, this is going to bring the rear wheels inboard more. So you're going to be able to navigate tighter trails without getting your rear wheel hung up around tight bends and trees and that sort of thing on the trail. Also, with a solid live axle, reduces the amount of steering force required. So if you have any kind of reduced hand function, any kind of physical disability, spinal cord injury, this narrow track in the rear is going to reduce the amount of steering force you have to produce. The Coyote, just like our Horizon, has a number of different user interface options. This one has a standard vertical hand controls here. So it's a lot like a motorcycle grip, just vertical. Pretty intuitive to steer, very natural, easy to get used to, very straightforward. Also, we offer this with tri-pin controls for someone with reduced hand function, whether that's from MS or stroke or spinal cord injury, quadriplegics. It's very, very able to be configured for almost any kind of arm function you have. Even if you got no hand dexterity, you can operate if you got a little bit of shoulder, a little bit of tricep and bicep function. Also, this Coyote is our all-electric A-Series machine. It's also offered in an L-Series version with pedals. What gives away the fact that this is an A-Series is that it has a footrest out front and obviously no pedal gear in the back. So This is a Coyote A series with your standard hand controls. It's got the 3,000 watt drive system, and this actually has a 6 kilowatt hour battery. So if we were kind of putting all that together, of course it's Outrider Coyote. It's a 360 because it's 3,000 watts and 6 kilowatt hours on the battery. 360A, which means A series, all electric with these vertical hand controls. And this is our solid axle version, like I said. Also called live axle on our website. So some of the unique advantages of this machine is, first and foremost, it's got full suspension. So you've got air suspension up front, truly independent air suspension, A-arm style, like you'd expect on an ATV or car or any kind of modern high-performance vehicle, with an integrated sway bar for maximum cornering stability, minimizing any body roll. And it's got these adjustable air shocks up front that you can tune depending on rider weight. And so it's a very high performance front suspension, about 3 inches of wheel travel depending on how you set it up. And then the rear, you've got an air shock in the rear as well. This one's had it upgraded for the Cane Creek DB inline air shock, really nice high quality shock made in the US. And so this whole rear axle pivots and has about 5 to 5.5 inches of wheel travel depending on setup. So that all means that you get a super smooth ride, regardless of what terrain you're riding on. And so you're going to be comfortable to be in a seat for a long time. The other thing that this bike has as an option on it is this Rojo air cushion. Has adjustable air bladder in here, so you can tune in exactly what you want. You can kind of see up here, you unzip it, you see these air bladders up front inside of there, and these are going to adapt and move air around so you get really even weight distribution on the seat, which means you can ride for hours on end with minimizing any chance of any kind of spin issue, any discomfort that you can be out there in the heat riding for extended periods of time. Also with the seat, it is adjustable forward and back on the frame here, so you can adjust how close you are to the footrest. And you've also got the recline adjustment back here to sit more upright if you prefer a more upright seating position. This is in the middle of this range right now. And then you can recline it back more if you want a more aerodynamic recline seating position, taking a little bit more weight off of your hips. The Coyote two-wheel drive version is driven in the live axle configuration with this carbon belt drive. You've got your brushless 3 kilowatt motor here going into the planetary gearbox and then outputting through this carbon belt drive to the rear axle. So it's a very compact, up to 94% efficient motor. It's high quality American made motor. It's really as good as it gets as far as the drive system goes. This is a system that we've been developing for about 12 years now. And it's really, really refined and excellent on this machine. This particular model, as far as range goes, all of our full suspension machines have 4 battery bays that you can occupy. This particular unit has all 4 battery bays populated. Each bay can hold 1.5 kilowatt hours or 1,500 watt hours, depending on how you like to say it. So with 4 of those packs, this has over 6,000 watt hours of capacity. So as for comparison, a typical e-bike would have about 750 watt hours of capacity. This has 6,000. So it's kind of in a class of its own as far as range goes. We really wanted something that would allow someone to be out there all day and not have to worry about finding a charging point if they wanted to have that option to be able to run all day long. So this unit will do it. They're really excellent modern 21700 lithium battery cells, and each battery pack has its own very high-tech management system. So each battery can control its own destiny. If there's any problem with any individual pack, it will isolate itself from the rest. So you've got a lot of redundancy as far as your power supply goes. So that's a really great system. Also on these modern Outrider systems, the full electronics system is all compartmentalized onto one cartridge. What that means is if you ever want to do any upgrades on the core electronics, It's really future-proofing these as much as possible so that you can come back to us for upgrades, or if you had any kind of service issue, that unit is hot swappable, so you can kind of swap the brains or the guts of the unit out without having to be super technically inclined. We wanted to build these machines in a way that they were as user serviceable as possible, not a black box that is impossible to service. So that's really important to us in our design of the vehicles. Going from there, charging on these it's a high-speed built-in onboard charger. It's back in here, you can't see it, but on the other side you'll get a better view of where the charging port is. It's all IP rated, sealed, so your AC inlet is there. That's where your charging cord is going to plug in. And unlike the old machines where you had vent caps you had to remove, this is now totally sealed. So you can charge it in the pouring rain if you want to, outside of your hotel, outside of a gas station, outside of a restaurant, whatever. You can plug this thing in and not worry about it. The built-in charger that's standard on these is 1,000 watts of power, very powerful charger. Typical for e-bikes would be around 300 watts or so. This is 1,000 at the base level, and we have upgraded even higher speed chargers available as well. So that's going to get your power back quickly on the machine, and it does it extremely efficiently at 95% charger efficiency. So that's awesome because you're not wasting a bunch of heat when you're charging these things. It runs cool, and it's a nice efficient charging system. Also, while we're talking about charging, this Coyote has the electronics accessory package on it, and what that does for you specifically is kind of whatever you want it to do. This is a modular system, and we build these specifically to the customer based on what they want to do. So for this customer, he's in Alaska, and it's obviously going to be cold. He's using this as an off-road mobility device. So he's got a 12-volt automotive outlet there. Push this button to activate it, and that goes out and powers all his heated accessories. So he's got a heated grip system, thumb throttle that's heated. He's also going to have heated pants and a heated jacket. So you can see here with these grips, it's an integrated heated grip system. So there's actually 5 levels of heat for those. And you just push that to move through the settings. So that's a nice option if someone's riding in really cold environments. Back to this electronics package. So like I said, you got a 12-volt port available here, automotive port if you want that. Of course, you can remove that just like you would a normal automotive port. This is a locking one, so it won't easily remove itself. It needs to actually be rotated and locked in place. But then if you're not using that, you can just put the cap in place, and then that's sealed as well. So it's waterproof. And for him, since it was important for this rider to have those heated accessories, we put an XT connector here for all of his additional 12-volt heated gear, so he can run whatever he wants to run off of that, up to 200 watts. Also, there's an optional 48-volt output port here. You can use that to run inverters off of the bike. And what you would do with that is if you were using this as a remote power station, you could run anything you'd run off of a normal household outlet off of the main battery pack. So that could be a blender, that could be a microwave, power tools, whatever you might want to use out there. Recharge your laptop, your anything. If you want to use this as a boondocking machine in a remote area, you can use that inverter port to run anything you want to off of the Outrider's massive battery pack. Also right here, this inlet can be set up for different things. Keys uses additional 12-volt out for other accessories. Also can be used as a solar input. So we can build in a solar charge controller inside of this, and you could charge this Outrider off the grid, and it could be a closed loop source of transportation. So if you're wanting to ride across all of Canada and not have to worry about charge points, you could set up camp, roll out your panels, camp for a day, let the bike recharge, and be on your way the next day. So pretty amazing because you can charge this machine off of solar in remote areas, and then also use it as a massive mobile battery bank to run whatever you want to run. So it's an incredibly capable vehicle. If you're into it, it can even be your bug out machine. So also we got a USB out here, 2 5-volt USB high-speed ports to 4.8 amps, so you can charge tablets, any normal USB accessories from And again, what's really important with all this stuff is how sealed it is. This is a USB from Blue Sea, so it's made for marine applications. That stuff is all really tough. And you're done with any of this output, you can turn that off. This is accessible even with the unit off. So you can run whatever you want to run off the bike. You don't have to have the key in the ignition to do that. That's important if you're camping out. You don't have the whole bike up and running to run some little lights in camp or whatever it might be. So that's electronics accessory kit for it. A lot you can do with that. That's kind of just scratching the surface. It's really opens up to using this bike as a real power source, sort of like a generator. Okay, so let's go over the machine as a whole bit and the operation of it. You got a cargo rack option. He's got it on here. He's done gloss black on the whole machine. He's got some custom fenders as well to keep that mud spray off and act as an additional surface to mount other accessories. Key is over here on the left side. Also a waterproof key switch. Turn that on. You'll see the display come up. Fully charged on this bike is 50 volts. Fully discharged is about 40 volts. You've got your state of charge indicator on the top left, throttle position, motor power out, motor temperature, distance traveled, battery consumed in amp hours, and then your speed. Then you can also go through here and see your efficiency, total distance traveled, average speed, max speed, run time, motor temperature, max mins, all kinds of stuff. Battery health, cycle life, total amount of battery ever used on the machine, diagnostic screen. So this thing is made in Canada by Grim, and it's an excellent unit. It's been out there for a long time. It's well supported, and we love it for our machines. To operate it, after you turn the key on, you've got an arm switch here that also acts as a kill switch. You depress that, and you'll hear the controller fan come on. And when you turn that on, now your throttle's live. So as soon as you touch that, off it goes. You've got your reverse over here on this side. This is your reverse switch. You can see there. It indicates that light red LED whenever you turn it on, or when you push it off, it goes back. Brakes are independent. Left brake controls the left front wheel. Right brake controls the right front wheel, so you're going to pull both to stop. We're using Magura hydraulic brakes on these. They work really well. They're super reliable, easy to adjust, really nice to service. We really love these brakes. 180 millimeter brake standard, or roughly 7 inches between the two front wheels. That's lots of braking power. Works great. This has a parking brake option on it, which is a mechanical parking brake, a lot like you get in a car or truck. You've got a cable-driven brake for your parking brake, so you're not holding pressure in those hydraulic hoses. But then you've got your hydraulic brakes for that great power, auto adjustability, and nice feel for your main brakes on the machine. So you've got a redundant brake on this as well, which is great. Steering, as we talked about briefly, is very intuitive. It's just push-pull. So since it's armed, I'll go ahead and just run it up. You'll hear this hot little motor, little hot rod motor. And then if you hit the reverse switch, now we're running in reverse. Right? So as far as range goes, with this setup, with 6 kilowatt hours, 4 wheels, knobby tires, if we run this at 25 miles an hour sustained on hard pack, this ends up right at 100 miles, 95 to 105, right in that range, flat out 25 miles an hour with this size pack. So that'd be 4 hours continuous of running on hard pack. On stop and go off-road, you're probably going to see about 80 miles with this off-road. And that all depends on what you're doing exactly, but that's a whole lot of off-road riding. It's really a whole day riding off-road. So really impressive range with this machine, and super capable, and it's got an impressive amount of torque for hill climbing. You can see back here, he went for the marker light option. So it gives you those tail lights for your running lights. Also, there's the option for turn signals and brake lights. He opted for the normal running lights on this. For the visibility whip on the back, this one doesn't have it, but there's a 360-degree visibility whip. It's an option. You can even do double or triple whips in the back if you want to. Moving to the front of the machine, I'm going to turn the key off here. We've got adjustable boom here, so you can move this footrest in and out depending on your leg length. Also, your handlebars, they do have a quick release here, so they can fold down and get out of the way if you're transferring in from wheelchair from the side. They fold right back up and you can lock those into place with no fuss with that quick release there. Your parking brake is over here. It is ratcheting, so it locks your wheel. So transferring on and off of this, the bike's going to stay put. And then once you're ready to rock, you just roll that down and off you go. This one does have a headlight option on it as well. That's a 900 lumen LED headlight that's hardwired to the bike. He opted for a switch on that. Typically we do these as daytime running lights are always on for safety. But he wants to ride in the woods as well and be able to turn that light off if desired. So that's a really nice option. The Coyote with the big wheel in the back has about 7 to 8 inches of ground clearance. It's on a short wheelbase, so that's a lot of ground clearance for this wheelbase. It really does everything you could want to do off-road with it, while giving you extra stability of 4 wheels. So that's the general overview of the machine. This is a great machine for somebody that wants to have a vehicle that doesn't take up a ton of space, but can go pretty much anywhere you point it. And just be an absolute blast while you're doing it. It feels like an extension of your body. It really is a freedom machine. And we specialize in adapting these for folks, especially that may need a little bit more customization on the bike to be able to operate it with any kind of physical disability that they might have. That really wraps it up for this. Again, this is the Outrider Coyote. This is a live axle version, 2-wheel drive, with our big 6 kilowatt-hour battery pack on it, full suspension, made right here in Fletcher, North Carolina. We've been here since 2011. Outrider's been around since 2009, so we've enjoyed being part of this electric vehicle boom that's happened. And we were kind of doing it before it was real cool, so I'm glad it's coming and stop now. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about the Coyote, please don't hesitate to ask. Give us a call. It's 828-654-7555. Also, check out the Coyote on the website, outriderusa.com. And we really appreciate you watching and learning about the Coyote. And we hope you all take care. Have a wonderful day. Cheers.
All right, you can start her up and go. Perfect. Perfect. The shot.